Welcome back. Now we have a shout, and it's coming from the indigents of Idumuje IGBOKO, a community under threat of security in Delta State. For 5 years now, the town has been facing insecurity challenges arising from the alleged activities of a member of the community who they say has forcefully seized people's farmlands for his private business. Those who dared to question him are said to have been arrested and incarcerated on trumped-up charges and also on investigated charges, some incarcerated for up to 2 or 3 years. We have in the studio Engineer Igwe Enoyibo. Good morning.
Good morning.
We also have Chuks Nwoko. Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
And Uche Aligbe, all indigents of Idumuje IGBOKO. Good morning to all of you.
Morning.
Morning.
Now, let me begin with Mr. Nwoko. What seems to be the problem?
Yeah, good morning. Thanks so much for inviting us. For the past 5 years, we've had almost an untractable problem in our community where someone is using too much might, exploit, intimidate, incarcerate people, all because he wants some properties. About 8 years ago, the community generously gave out 33 acres of land. Free. 33 acres of land is 33 football fields. An acre of land is a football field.
Idumuje
Idumuje IGBOKO.
It's not a village then.
Yes.
If you can give one person 33 acres, it's a big town.
Looking at me, you should know I didn't come from a village. So I call it a town.
I apologize.
Thanks so much. So 33 acres of land, 1 acre of land is 6.5 plots. 33 acres of land is 220 plots. The town gave it to him to develop at no cost. And he has been developing. Along the line, he requested for 92 hectares of land. 92 hectares of land. 1 hectare of land is 2.5 acres. I hope you get me. And that's about 250 football field. And that is equivalent to almost 1,500 plots. That is the bareness of it. And the community doesn't have it. It belongs to people. And unfortunately, it's either I have it or nothing happens. So we've been under a lot of threat. We've been under a lot of intimidation. That people like us are not locked up is by God's grace. As at 2 days ago on the 6th, some of our men, innocent men, are in Kuje prison, 1 year anniversary for terrorism and murder they don't know nothing about. In Agbo prison, 2 of our men since 2017 are in Agbo prison, June, for terrorism and murder. And if you know, terrorism and murder is a capital offense. It's a capital offense that involves the government. And that is where we are. We are being intimidated almost on a daily basis. Our OB, who is a graduate, almost 70-year-old, is perpetually in hiding. Perpetually in hiding, as I'm talking to you.
An entire OB is in hiding.
Yes.
Perpetually in hiding. He cannot move. And we now felt it's gotten to a stage where, as responsible citizens of this country, let other people hear us.
Okay. By the way, the person being spoken about is Honorable Ned Nwoko. And the traditional ruler in question is Obi Chukunonso Nwoko. Are they relations?
Yes.
Yes.
And the man there is Chooks Nwoko.
Well, we have Chooks Nwoko here. Is Ned Nwoko your relation? Oh, by the way, Ned Nwoko, you do have you will have your time to come and respond to all these allegations whenever you choose. Is he a relation of yours?
Yes, a relation of mine.
And you are here to complain about him?
Yes.
Did you try settling amongst? It's a family matter.
Oh, absolutely. Because, thank you for saying that. Family is everything. In 1983, when he finished his training teachers education at Kiadolo College, he was still young and vibrant and all that. He needed further education. He came to my house at number 32 Awoyoko Street to come and seek for help. Because I was not ready to go abroad, my elder brother said, okay, what is the problem? He said he wants to go to University of Kel to go and study law. What came out of the mouth of my elder brother is that, oh, that would be nice. We had only one prominent lawyer at the time, Lawyer Nwulu, a prominent lawyer. Judge later became a judge and all that. That would be nice to have you go study law. After you, Chooks will come. Before that time, Uzo Jebose had gone. This young man really wasn't educated. He didn't have opportunity. Poverty did not allow him to go to university. But he saw potentials in Ned. So he sent him abroad in 1983. His father couldn't send him. His mother couldn't send him. This man, we're a large family. Because family meant everything. Family is everything. So he went. He's related to me. We lived together in one room. I was in the same room with him. At number 32 Awoyoko Street in Pangrove here. So he's related to me. His mother is a princess of the Nwokos. His mother, Ned's mother, Honorable Ned Nwoko's mother, is a princess from the royal family. So we are related. So he went to London and came back and became a billionaire and asked for land. They gave him land, 33 hectares of land. And the premise was that he was going to build a dairy farm. He was going to do a fishing farm, chicken, piggery, and all this.
For the benefit of the community.
For the benefit. So they gave him massive I mean, he's a builder, so he described what they gave to him. 5 years ago, he has not been able to use up that 33 hectares. He didn't build the dairy farm. He didn't build the fish farm. Nothing. He just erected this massive, house there where people come to visit him. 5 years ago, he turned around to come and ask for another 90-something, 92 hectares or 95 hectares from an agricultural, we are farmers. And we said, look, our population is increasing. The land mass is not increasing. Only you, we gave you 33 hectares. You have not given an account of what you've been given. You turn around to come and ask for another 35. Anyway, we have a land sharing committee. You go and meet them, submit your proposal. He submitted, and the committee said no. So they presented it to the Crown Prince, and the man said, look, the committee says no, and we don't have this land to give to you. And that's the cross of the matter. So it's been, the major word is the intimidation and the bullying that is bullying us, using the police to raid the town, arrest people, charge them on travel charges, and without investigation. And I have had cause to be somewhere on social media where I have cried out to say, look, President Buhari in 2019, June 12th, he said that fellow Nigerians, the government will not tolerate actions by any individual or groups of individuals who seek to attack our way of life, or those who seek to corruptly enrich themselves at the expense of the rest of us. We will crack down on those who incite ordinary citizens, who incite ordinary citizens to violence and unrest. We will ensure that such actions are met with strong arm of the law. That was in 2019. If you remember, the day he named the National Stadium in Abuja after Abiola, that's the last paragraph of that speech. Now, I have gone to social media to address the president. Look, I know you have too many things on your plate, but these troublemakers might not be known to you. Ned should be known to you. I'm calling his name. He's related to me. We tried to settle this thing within the family. It hasn't worked. Within the town, it hasn't worked. At the state level, the traditional heads in the place have tried their best. But this man won't listen to me. So he's related to me.
Have you gone to court?
Yes.
Yes, we have court cases. He has so many court cases that he has instituted. In fact, he has abused the court process so much so that a particular lawyer has been punished.
He's a lawyer, isn't he?
He's a lawyer. No, he's a law graduate. He cannot practice law here.
Oh, he did not go to law school.
He did not go to law school.
Okay.
But I think overseas, he was a lawyer. But his kind of law really is, even while he was practicing, the history of his practice of law is there for you to investigate. Here, he's doing the same thing, but in a different whatever, just abusing the court process, using lawyers and all kinds of things like doing lying and all that. And thank you for extending that invitation to him. But I would also like to be here with him. I haven't seen him in a long time.
No, because he's not here with you. Mr. Libe, how is it that he's also able to intimidate the traditional ruler of the city, of the town?
That is the problem. Thank you very much for also having me here. The first is, you can only intimidate me if you have an assistant somewhere. Otherwise, man to man, no. He cannot intimidate the traditional ruler because that is a full-fledged man who has made his mark everywhere. Okay? But when you now have behind you the police force, virtually at your beck and call, you can do anything.
Are you sure he has a police force behind him?
Can I say a few things then? First of all, we are talking of land. This man, like you've been told, was given the one he was given. Even though we said no, dairy farm, you are giving him this, he's not likely to do this because our climatic condition is such that it cannot be done. Okay, but you know, the euphoria of, oh, our son in the House of Reps and so on, let's give it to him, so to say. They gave it to him. 15 years after, nothing except a residential house in the place. And then you come in again and you ask for, well, they just played it down. He asked for 90 hectares to do a golf course in the village. Then he turned around and put in another letter asking for 2 kilometers by 1 kilometer size of land because he says he wants to develop a university. He's asking for all of them free of charge. He put in this letter on the second letter came in on the 23rd of March. By 28th of March 2015, I am saying 5 days after, he pulled in bulldozers, supported or protected by people in police uniform and police paraphernalia. What I mean is police van, police gun, and then in uniform. Maybe they're not policemen, but for us, we can't tell the difference. You see what I'm talking about? They supervise the bulldozing, which continues up till tomorrow. The only young man who was bold enough to go in there into his farm to say, what are you people doing? It was the same police that arrested him, took him and charged him for what? Attempted murder.
A golf course.
Yes.
Surely it will bring fame to your community.
Yes.
Because golf players are supposed to be big people and they'll be coming to play with him and spending money in your town.
It is not so.
Can I say this? I don't want to look at
to help the economy of the town move on.
Yes, I don't want to look at yes and no of a golf course in Idumuje, IGBOKO. There is one in Asaba. We want to know how much it's doing. There's even one in Ogara. We want to know how much it's doing. Look, you are talking golf players are people who go to where there is peace, who go to where there is affluence. There is no peace. Delta as a whole, you know that. Even if there was, they don't think there is. You have nothing to keep any golfer. The first 200 golfers in this world are all whites. Even the black one that is inside there says he's a white. You know that. But let's leave that alone. Even if you are going to do that, are you going to do that on the grave of those who own land, who earn their living from those pieces of land? Because you want the town to say it has a golf course, therefore everybody else will die? I mean, it does not make sense. It does not make sense. And I kept asking him, where are you going to get this land? Because we don't have it. That's it. Talking about how is he using the police, I told you the first thing. The second is that they talked about cases. Cases. How can the police come in because somebody has sent in a petition listed names. And when they list, even if it's 30 names, they put below it others. So that from time to time they can accommodate more names, and they just raid the place and arrest them without investigation, without anything. And we're asking, how is he using the police? The police is surely behind him. Each time we have a problem and you go to report to the police, somebody will say, let's wait. The young ones, the youth, when they go there to report, this is happening in the community, they check. This man's name is on the list. You who have come to report will be remanded for a different petition. That is what he's doing with the police. And a lot more. And that is why we can say that even our natural ruler is in hiding, because the police is after him everywhere.
Okay, we'll go on a quick break. We'll come back to continue this conversation. Do stay with us. Thank you for staying with us. We're still on to that topic, the shout from Idumuje IGBOKO. The indigents are here to talk about some things that are threatening their lives there. Mr. Aligbe, you were talking about some things. Let's look at the process of issuing the land, as Engineer Enoyibo mentioned earlier. He talked about 33 acres of land given, and now he's asking for 92. What's the hectares? What's the process of giving land to an indigent of the soil who wants to develop?
Thank you very much. Let's go. I am saying this because sometime I was a President General of the Union, and the Union is supposed to be superintending the allocation of land in that part of the town, because we call it development land. That's one. Second, I can also tell you, because I've had the opportunity of applying and going through the process of land allocation. So what I tell you, I have documents to also show in case you need. What you do is, you want land, you apply. First of all, we said that area was supposed to be for just projects, development. And therefore, what you required at that point in time was that you applied for land, you talked about the portion, the kind of parcel of land you needed, you told us what you wanted to do with it, you showed us evidence in terms of feasibility report and so on, for us to study and know that this is genuine. Okay? Then we will discuss it. Do we have it? Yes, we have it. So let's give it. At that time, we were giving it free, but on condition that 3 years, that's what you have to get on developing. If you don't, it reverts
to the community.
That's laid down. Now, 33 hectares, well, they say that acres. I can tell you it is hectares. Hectares. He applied, the community gave it even without the union knowing. They said he was going to do a dairy farm. And when the union got to know about it, I was President General then. I went to them and I said, hey, wait a minute. What is this portion of land for? Because people had applied in the past and we said, this thing you are asking for is too much. We are going to eat into farmers' land. And they said, look, it's for this. And we said, no, we didn't get any feasibility on it. We don't know about it. In any case, because I did agric, I can tell that you can't do a modern dairy here, irrespective of the fact that there is a professor of agriculture in the royal family there. And we said, no, we don't accept. We argued it in an open meeting, and it was obvious that it was an error. But the OB then said to me, please, we have done it, we have done it. He has 3 years to do this. If he doesn't do it, it will revert. Since you say he cannot do it there, let's believe he cannot do it. After that, he comes back. And I tell you that for 15 years, he did nothing. Okay? How to get it back, I don't want to get into that because it will become a little messier. Now, 2015, he applied for this. First of all, he wrote for 90 hectares. He wanted to join to his 33 to do a golf course. 16th of March, 2015. A week later, he threw in another one, asking for this 2 kilometer by 1 kilometer land. He wants to develop a university. 5 days after, without even getting a response, you started bulldozing people's land, supported by armed people. That is it. So the process is, I have evidence here to show you the process. You apply to the Land Allocation Committee. The Land Allocation Committee looks at it, invites the union, they look at your project, and then when they are sure that this will fly and it's okay and everything is right, they introduce it to the general meeting of the town, which we call Izwani. They discuss it there and they get everybody's buy-in. In the Izwani, the chairman is the natural ruler, the traditional ruler, so he hears, he listens, he watches people discuss these things. He gets to know what they are saying. Having said yes at the Izwani, then they are ready to go. The application letter, that's what comes to the natural ruler, and he approves of it on the application letter, and then directs an organ that goes to map out the land. You go and map out this portion of land for this person. What we did after was that to make it less difficult for this community that goes to map out empty land, we surveyed it. I have a copy of the survey of the place. Again, we did that because we had now decided that this portion of land, just without development, let it go for residential accommodation. So we don't need to go and ask you to bring a feasibility study to know what kind of house. That was after the 2015, after the 2033 hectares. So it's surveyed, it has everything. Once the OB approves, give this man a plot, give this man 2 plots, give this man 3 plots. The Land Allocation Committee that looked at it will go in and say, this is your plot, from this pillar to that pillar. Full stop. But what has happened now is that he threw in this application, God knows where he got it from. Before you knew what was happening, like I said, he started bulldozing land. Somewhere, he threw up a letter, which, if we discuss it here, you will see the lots of illegality and inconsistency in it, and said it was a letter signed by a traditional ruler allocating land to him. Meanwhile, he says, the traditional ruler says 50 hectares will be invested in his golf course, and then for the university land, 1 village will give it to him free.
No ruler now, or his father?
No, his father.
Him? Okay.
Okay, 1 village will give it to him free. After we finished the survey, every plot of there attracted some cost. I tell you, we were talking about the real icon we have in the town, Gabriel Obecha, who runs Rain Oil, the rave of the moment, who just launched his liquefied petroleum gas here. When he asked for plot of land to build a filling station, he was given 6 plots. He paid 2 million for it. When he asked for plot of land to build his own private house, he was given 4 plots for somewhere, and he paid for it. Okay. Even when he said that this was too small, we told him that was all we had. He had to go and buy land from a neighboring town because he wanted to establish.
We're fast running out of time. So, Mr. Nwoko, why exactly have you come today to shout out?
Thanks. We came in to let Nigerians know what we are going through as a town. We're under threat. We're exploited. Some of our men are in detention, as I'm talking to you now, in Kuje prison, in IGBOKO prison, for trumped-up, phantom charges of terrorism and murder. I want people to hear us, because somebody just does not want to make peace in the community, to allow our OB to live in peace and reign in peace. As we're talking now, there is so much fear. The youths, the women are in fear. And even the press, we want the press to be bold enough to investigate, not just pick something and publish. Idumuje is 5.5 hours drive from Lagos, or 7 hours from Abuja. They are free. to see people talk so that we can live in harmony and live in peace before the entire town goes into, is it extinction or into war? Thank you.
But earlier you talked about some people that were in jail.
Yes.
You said, have they been charged?
Look, yes, some of them have been charged. Terrorism and murder, you know. Very
Are the
straight.
cases on?
Yes, in Abuja. And they're on bail with 50 million naira bail bond and a property in Abuja.
In Central.
For an offense in Delta. Ask yourself, we don't want to go out, I'm not a lawyer. How did the case get to Abuja? To tell you all the dirty things that are happening. As I'm talking to you, the guys are there. 50 million bail bond with a property in Abuja. Is it achievable? It is just to let them stay there almost permanently. And since 2017, January 17, June, another 2 innocent human beings are in Agbo prison. In fact, it's sad. When you say terrorism, murder, you are as if you are giving them a death warrant. Do you get it? It's not a bailable offense.
Is the state governor aware of all this, Chooks?
Yes. You say yeah. I want to assume that he's aware of it. I believe so, because we have had occasions, if not more than once, the governor has been to the place to launch a Gabriel Obeche's project, and you know, the governor and the current OB, they were schoolmates in Edo College those days and all that. And
the OB should be able to cry out to the governor.
But we're crying out to you and the president and the governor and everybody. The truth of the matter is that the system has been compromised by this billionaire, Honorable Ned. The truth of the matter is that the name Nwoko was the wealth that we inherited. Then we had peace, then we had joy in our spirit. If we had 10,000 naira, it was enough for us. But this billionaire has come. And by the way, talking about being a billionaire, Ned, he enjoyed the benevolence and the kindness of the Nwokos, because before he became a billionaire, this is him when he was living in my house. This is him here. This is the night he was going to London. We were sending him to London. So he has not always been a billionaire. We sent him. The only education the mom could provide for him was at NCE he acquired in Ekiadolo College. He was a teacher until we saw the potential in him. He has transformed that potential and that talent to this negative by destroying. Look, Obiajulu Nwoko, a 87-year man, an old man, just left the hospital because I arrested him. He took over his land, asked his mobile policeman to throw his motorcycle inside the bush. And let's not go that route. But this is a man who has enjoyed the benevolence and the kindness of an entire family. Now, we're not rich in terms of billions and properties and tennis court and all that, but the wealth that attracted my mom to that family was just the name. The name opened door. And you know about Dimas, Professor Dimas Nwoko. You know about Somayina Nwoko, the first professor of agroeconomics those days in the University of Ibadan. Those are the kind of things that we have. Bright minds. Bright minds. So, but the question I expect that people will ask this man when it comes eventually by the grace of God is, what do you do for a living? Now you're talking about crying out to the governor. He provides a political nuisance for them at the political party level, so nobody can talk to him. So we are crying to the president. Which camera can I look at and talk?
Talk to us.
Okay. I am appealing to the president to come and help us. We are in trouble. Ned Nwoko is using the police to bully us. I have received calls from family members threatening me. My life means nothing and is worthless if my people, like Obiajulu, a 87-year-old man, can be treated the way he was treated last week by Ned and his cohorts. And Ejimofo, Prince Ejimofo, was arrested. President Buhari, I know you have so much on your plate, but come and bail us, come and help you. We are part of your people. I voted for you, and I keep supporting you and praying for you. The bandits in Katsina, you might not know, in Kaduna, you might not know them. Ned Nwoko is known. I know his address. You can take him out. He's disturbing us. We need to enjoy peace and have joy.
Maybe I will add on to why the governor is doing a lot that is capable of doing. But when you have a police force And even in the state, they pretend, whether it's true or not, to be receiving instruction from above. They go beyond the governor. It's sometimes when the governor insists on certain things that they get done. Otherwise, for them to wake up a night because somebody wrote a petition, I wrote a petition on you and said, you slapped one of my brothers. The police comes in 15 vehicles, all armed at 2 a.m. to break down a palace, all the doors and everything, and arrest the traditional ruler of the place, put him in handcuff. What you have not investigated, and you just take him. And then somebody's writing and telling them that, oh, he's been arrested. Even the commissioner opened his mouth somewhere to say, yes, we arrested a self-styled traditional ruler. His deputy commissioner, when he did a job there, referred to him as crown prince. I don't know what that means. A crown prince is the one who is next to the throne. And when the throne is vacant, it is for the crown prince. But this is what's going on. But let's leave that alone. Even the people, we're talking of terrorism. Can you imagine that even at the high level of the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, they can prepare a terrorism charge for a complaint that a governor has not shouted about, not even a local government chairman has shouted about. I know what's going on between Jukun and the thieves. We know what is going on in Kaduna. We know what is going on everywhere. He has not profiled any terrorism against anybody. What you haven't had, you have not even investigated. You put cases that are already in court. Here and there, you put them together and you target terrorism and you take it to Abuja. And you expect peasant farmers to be moving from a village in Delta to go and attend court in Abuja. That, as far as I'm concerned, is moral injustice. But that is what's going on. The governor cannot stop it at that level, no matter how much he tries. We know he knows. He is trying his best, but these powers are sometimes beyond him. And that's why we are shouting to the man who has the power to say, hey, stop. And as we talk about the police, let me put this straight away. We want to exonerate the Inspector General of Police of all this. Because even as an AIG, he did his best to sort this thing out. And this young man, Ned Nwoko, refused to do a whole lot of things. Even as IG, most of the things going on, I'm not sure they get to him. We exonerate him every time of all this. What is happening just a little below him. And that is the problem.
It's just unthinkable that one man can do all this.
Cannot be in Nigeria.
Are you sure you all don't have a grouse against this man?
Definitely no.
Grouse.
Definitely no.
Grouse. For real?
Look, you need to see the community. It's a pity we have a TV thing. We don't need to bring in IGBOKO. If not, we can flood here the entire channels with our people. If I open my phone, I won't use curses. But a lot of us, for people like us to step out our head, tells you how daunting this situation has gotten to. Do you get what I'm saying?
I tell you, that thing is grouse. Look, you cannot be a giver and lack. We are not rich people. We have never been, quote, billionaires in our place. But we're very rich. We go to
in
school.
Spirit.
Our parents, look, people like him went to school and we saw them ride bicycle to PPGS. We saw people go to St. Pius. That was what was given to us. And this man you're talking about needed education. He could not get education. But the family, Dan Nwoko, Omonye Nwoko, called him and said, yeah, it looks like you are talented. What do you want to do? He said he wants to go and study law. And the man, I was in that meeting. Now, the issue here really is the issue of lack of integrity. If, just to reply to grouse, look, where we come from, we are contented people. Because we drive our wealth from hard work. Then we drive joy from relating and eating together. That's why that community has existed before this man became a billionaire. We have lived together. Do you understand what I'm saying? We lived together in harmony. And it's the same palace that has been vandalized. When we have communal issues, we go to the place to settle it. We didn't have police station. maybe there was police station in our headquarters, local government headquarters, but within that community, it is now modern day Nigeria that we now have police posts near us there. But we never used to have a police post. If I had issues with you, we're invited to the family meeting. If it was beyond the family, whatever,
yes,
we went to the palace. We lived in harmony. We went to each other's farm. We built houses for each other. We would, go dig up red, whatever, match it, and we build for you, you build for me. We're communal people. We lived in peace until the emergence of this greed and this self-centeredness and this pattern that has followed this man, pattern of bullying people to take their whatever. That's what we're dealing with. It's not grouch.
Okay.
Come on.
The things that he said he wants to build, talked about the university, talked about the golf course. These are things that will benefit your community.
The motivation you don't know about it.
We are not against development at all. We appreciate, we welcome it. Go through due process. Exhaust the 33 acres you have. That is our ground. Exhaust it. Tell us
and use it for the purpose you said.
What else you need. I mean, don't get carried away. I'm an educated person. I'm an engineer. Exhaust the 33 acres you have. Tell us what you need extra to make up what you want. There are due processes, and he had been eloquent enough to tell you processes of. We are talking of process. We're not talking of acquisition. Nobody's against development. It's going to be a beauty. I have a home there. All of us here have homes there. I mean, maybe my house will be the Vice Chancellor's place. Beautiful. But if you want it, why not go through a process? Must you take over a whole community, a whole town, just because you want a golf course or you want a university? No. We are not against development. Please get that right. But we want this process to be somebody that you and I, we're going to live. Our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren are going to be there. Let there be something, a legacy, a beauty, a system, a standard that is left for them.
I want to end up somewhere by assuring you of this. I'm happy you have invited him, he will come. He will give you an impression that some group called Izwani gave him land. He will brandish some letter. Our natural ruler has never written to anybody, I give you this. He signs, the process allocates land to you. How he manufactured that letter, which has a lot of inconsistencies, that is his own. But even that same natural ruler wrote 3 letters disowning that thing he was carrying around. One privately to him, which he signed for, before he now started telling the people, since he didn't want to adhere to what he said, look, I didn't give this man any land. The 3 letters are there, and it is because of it that he invited the police to start harassing the now natural ruler, who was a crown prince then. That is
where is he now? Where is the Obi now?
Because he's in hiding, we cannot tell where he is.
Oh, okay, he's in hiding right now.
This is the truth of the matter. The palace does not have the Obi inside it.
I mean, they came 1:32 a.m., raided it. You need
the desecration. It has
broke
never
into
happened.
tear gassed the whole place. Tear gassed the whole place. Then a week later,
it's not a week.
They came back.
The next
day.
The next day, on a Sunday.
On a Sunday. They said they were looking for corpse. They dug 5 pits in the compound looking for burial.
The desecration of that palace. It has never happened anywhere in the world, in the Yoruba land, or Edenuga, all these rich people. Have you heard that they went to their paternal grandfather's house, palace, to go and dig up whatever? They break into the palace. That's what Ned is done
they
in
dug all over.
Family.
They didn't see any single corpse. No. Meanwhile, we have pictures, broken down windows, doors, tear gassed. I'm not telling you a story. I was in Asaba, handcuffed him. I'm not telling you what somebody told me.
And
I'm not telling you what somebody told me.
They came to look for.
Handcuffed him.
On the 19th of July.
Sorry, it was my driver.
It's part of the
bought a
charge.
rubber slippers for him to wear. It was that bad. I had to ask my driver. I had to ask the police. This is Aobi. Aobi is almost 70.
So we've been assaulted.
Graduated from Nsukka.
I had an illustrious career in Lagos here.
My driver had to go and buy rubber slippers for him to wear with handcuffs at Asaba. In fact, that day, if I told you I wept, I mean, it's an understatement. We couldn't believe it. But thank God he's a gentleman. He absorbed everything. You know how they move people? There was no dress. He just had his trousers and a t-shirt.
Like a common criminal.
Yes.
Yes. Handcuffed. And I told the policeman.
The dead bodies they came looking for on the 19th of July. That is the charge. The people who have been in incarceration since 2017. That is the charge they are facing. Somebody was killed. Who is this person? Where is it? Where is the body? What happened to him? Let's even see. Let's know that somebody died. Let's know what killed him. Let's know who killed him. For 3 years. Once they get a holding charge and the people are in there, then investigation can take forever. Just to keep people. I mean, and that's as we are sitting here, they have so many spurious charges against various people. We can even be living here and you hear that the police has rounded 3 people up. And then they're taking them to Abuja because there's a petition saying that whatever. And nobody's asking question. You report, nothing happens. I mean, that's the problem. That's the folly of the community now.
In case they bring you, attach you to me for interviewing me.
So
that's the law that
we are also at risk.
So I'm just warning.
That's the law.
I'm just warning because one
that's a version of law that Omonye paid for to send him to go and study law so that the community will be blessed. It would be nice to have it. That's a version of law that he went to study from.
So Sam Wasborn says, so sad watching this interview. The police is supposed to be on the side of the law. The collective will of the community should be greater than the will of one individual. Well, future governor says, where is the evidence or videos to back the demolitions? Okay. I am sure sure they have them. In fact, they say they're on the internet. Please, who is terrorizing that community? This is from Adams Dean. Who is terrorizing? Well, they've been shouting his name all day.
Honorable Ned Nwoko.
Using proxy.
Well then. Well, we just wish you all the best
my younger sister
in this
called me that time, in case if I get arrested when I leave here. It's okay. My younger sister actually called me. She's been intimidated, but she's also on my matter that he's not going to go and beg Ned to release me by the time he lays his hand on me. So, but I'm here. I'll step out soon. So whatever he wants to do with me, no wahala. But we'll be nice to him, you know.
Okay. Well,
we'll hope to get Honorable Ned to come and answer.
Exactly. Come and respond to all this that has been said against him. We will expect him to show up here and tell us his own side of the story. And we wish the community of Idumuje IGBOKO all the best in sorting out this thorn in their flesh, this matter which they have brought to national television. I'd like to thank Engineer Igwe Enoibo, Mr. Uche Aligbe, and Mr. Chuks Nwoko, who happens to be a relation of the said Honorable Ned Nwoko, all indigents of Idumuje IGBOKO. Thank you all very much to bring this to the consciousness of Nigerians. Sunrise will be right back with the home stretch in just a moment. Please stay with us.